This is sort of nerd punk rock, I guess you could say. A handgun is a machine. Moving, interlocking parts. Analog. The barrel and crosshair resemble the modern electric symbol for power. It is a marriage of a 1 and 0. A gun is binary. Bullet 1, barrel 0. A gun is power. Suicide is binary. A noose is digital. A 1 straight roped and a 0 looped knot. Suicide is a switch. On, off, day in, day out. Ian Curtis was analog. A spun gun cylinder is a random number generator. A freely lived life is analog. A fishnet is digital. The Zodiac Killer signified himself with a crosshair symbol, a mandala carving a 0 with a series of 1s. The Zodiac was a switch. A halo is a 0 floating above a 1. Angels are digital, servants to a program. Humans, carved from angels 2.0. Mankind is a glitch. DNA is analog. God is binary. A guillotine frame is a 1 and a 0. The blade, a relay. Execution is digital. A surveyor's compass is binary. Crosshatch. A vacant lot is analog. A sailor's compass is a 1 and a 0. Maps are a random number generator. Magnets are analog. Death is death is death. Off, off, off. Death is an error. A gun is a switch. A noose is a relay. God speaks disaster. A hurricane is power. An earthquake, analog. Lightning is power. Electricity, digital. AC/DC, digital. Reproduction is binary. Trans is analog. Church, digital. Prayer, analog. Murder, binary. Man, woman, flesh. War is 0111 0111 011 0000 1011 0010. Humans are strong code. On, off, day in, day out. We are moving, interlocking parts. Our open mouths, a 0. Body, mind, heart, 1. We are a circuit. This one is, I have a theory that wanting something to happen and working towards an end is one thing, but hope is another thing. We're gonna get, this was inspired, if y'all don't know who Tara Hardy is, look her up. She is amazing. This was inspired by one of her workshops. Tonight, after we're done, go and find a stone. Put it in your pocket. Call it purpose. Every day, feel the reminder of its weight. Let your work keep the stone shape, but don't let it grow into a burden. I learned this at a friend's workshop, and I've spent every minute since trying to remember this. Some days, the stone grows cold fire, inspiration. Other days, the cold density of doubt. And there are weeks where it shrinks pebbled chip into merely routine. Before this, I never believed in alchemy. This stone now has so many names that a well-meaning friend suggested I simply call it hope. Fuck you. I carried that skyscraper weight for so long on bleeding shoulders until it became the blasphemy that it really is. Oh, bright bird, hope. Hooked fang jackal, hope. And every monstrosity in your rolling, consuming circus zoo, hope. All teeth, tongue, and throat, hope. Your virtue lacks stomach. Death is shrouded in black, and the devil's soot-smudged decadence. But death is inevitable, and the devil merely temptation. Neither make you do anything. Hope you hold hostage entire lives, so leave me. My door is not only open to faith and result, imagination and urgency. These things are me, are growth and bloom, divine result. Oh, violated fable, hope, myths die out for a reason. And I bid you, hope, to take the fucking hint. My days are nothing but inspiration, routine, defeat, and alchemy. The stone I chose was purpose. Now hope, get your fucking hand out of my pocket. All right. Woo! part of the punk rock thing. You gotta take the mic stand and work it and work it. You see, if you spin it in the air, that's like 80s hair metal. Keep it here, right here, and just keep tilting it and shrinking the size of it and leaning, that's punk. All right. One of my fellow features touched on religion. I have many different viewpoints. When I was 13, I lived for a month in Israel where I was bar mitzvahed on top of Masada. And then I really started to get into the study of it and actually considered joining a Hasidic sect. And then I realized, wow, they treat their women like shit. So it's true. It is true. So this is going to deal with one aspect of just religion and one aspect of religion in general, and then another one, how I feel about religion. And I think that will wrap it up. Okay? Is that cool? Yes? Cool. You still with me?
Yeah!
Sheep fuckers, are you still with me?
Yeah!
The Scottish contingent is not representing themselves. All right. This is also my favorite opening to a poem ever. Satan! See what I mean? Satan does not fear right-wing fundamentalists or televangelists as his destroyer or his successor. Just lesser little imps, worthy of only a pat on the head and a go get 'em, tiger. Because they make his job so much easier. They have forgotten the gentle nature of faith and believe they are doing their God's will so blindly, and that makes them dangerous. Faith is simple. It's accepting something so purely despite all evidence to the contrary. Faith is round and malleable, just as easy to hold tight. It is to share. Belief is where it gets tricky. Belief is sharp, shaped, fire-folded, and forged 1,000 times unbreakable. You either grab it by the hilt or take it in the neck. This is not piety, but pride. I used to live 1 hour from the devil. But then again, that might be giving focus on the family a little too much credit. We are 18 hours from Topeka, Kansas, the nest of Westboro Baptist spitting king snake Freddie Phelps. He may be venomous, but lacks the savage intelligence of the morning star. And tell me something, gentle men or Christians. You seem really obsessed with the Old Testament. What's the matter, fellas? Does all the love and forgiveness of the new one fucking bore you? Not enough wrath and brimstone? Have you forgotten? Let he who is without sin, if time has shown anything, is that a lot of these fuckers have those bones bouncing behind locked doors to hold a fucking barn dance. It is bad enough they ruin people's lives. They can't even give them the decency of a quiet burial. So, again, gentle men, quit crying that you are the easy target. If you truly believe that, then climb down off that cardboard cross, wipe that bloody bullseye off your chest. It is not stigmata, no matter how much you wish it to be. It was the fire-forged spikes. It was the unbreakable spear that did Jesus in. What brought him back from the pit was his unending faith in his Father's plan for humanity. So, Freddie Phelps, Ted Haggard, Jimmy Swaggart, and Jerry Falwell, who I pray is tending his own little half-acre in the hell he believed in so much. If I have offended you, gentlemen, and you truly do follow the example of Christ, then I ask you to prove it and forgive me. Punk rock gets angry. I get angry at things, but I get asked a lot. They're like, why'd you get into poetry? And I'm like, I can't afford a fucking therapist. This is much cheaper. All right. I'm going to end on an up note. I have those, believe it or not. This is another take. This is kind of, people ask me, like, do you have a religion? Do you have a school of thought? I do. This is it. I don't have a title for this. I know a kid who left Catholicism behind, but he carries chalk in his pocket. Every once in a while he'll stop and... Ow. He'll draw a steeple on the wall behind him and lean as to let people know that he's not lazy. He's just praying. There's another who got sick of gone green skin from electric-plated fool's gold around their neck, so she up and tattooed a crucifix on her chest. Now, she don't gotta take it off before sex, and every time she screams, Jesus! It means a hell of a lot more. One thing I learned being homeless was how to sleep sitting up, shivers swaying in the Denver winter nights, and all those dreams I was never cold. I was just davening. These days, we take prayer where we can and we never call it worship. God has come down off the altar and talks to us right at eye level. The fading mosque brick and the crumbling stone synagogues have formed new foundations in the air 5 feet around us, and yeah, it gets cold sometimes. The wind and grit will whip you blind sometimes. We all have to wander lost and compassless sometime. Before there were churches and printed word to be misinterpreted, we prayed in glottal stops and melody, but now there are keystrokes in our divinity, digital and gospel, synthesizers and God hollering, not up or down, but out of our throats, out of our eyes red and watering, out of our limbs spinning ecclesiastically, outside of ourselves. Inside prayer is the chance to be everything. This thing we give no name to. Don't care too much for manners. It don't punch a clock and it don't take attendance, and it don't take the preaching, and I'm sorry if this comes off that way, but this is just my way of an explanation. Us dumb monkeys fear a lack of comprehension, but we don't have to understand, just accept. I mean, isn't that what faith is? We singing, dancing students of I don't know what do not apologize for our convulsions, nor deny you yours, and for some reason your brick and mortar goes tumbling down or flames up, we invite you outside. There is so much fucking room out there. We invite you outside, and yeah, out there it does get cold sometimes. The wind and grit will whip you blind sometimes. We all have to wander lost and compassless sometimes, but our flailing will find other faithful hands sometimes. This shit ain't pretty. But god damn, it is beautiful. Thank you. So if you're wondering where my head is at when it comes to deities and religions and such, that's kind of like my manifesto. I'm actually going to end on a love poem. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Love poem?
Yeah.
I don't write many of these, ever. Well, this is my version of a love poem. I feel like my mother, the teacher, right now. I'll wait. I have their heads too. I think it would be fair to warn you that before this goes any further that you got to me a little too late. Seems just 30 seconds ago, I was a romantic. But now a minute and a half has passed and I sit bereft the sweet concepts espoused by Cyrano, Shakespeare, Neruda, and Charlie Chaplin. A daisy stolen and offered in passing. Mixed CDs wrapped in painstaking poetry appearing mysteriously in your mailbox. Songs composed, unsung, and left locked up in my windpipe because modern society has deemed these types of affections no longer romantic but simply creepy. Well, guess what? What the average person deems to be creepy, I call hot. Now, let's just for 1 minute forget about hair, height, and body type and get right down to brass bedpost, shall we? I will know I have found the woman of my dreams when she agrees to have sex to the Imperial March from Star Wars. Da 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 da. Bonus points if she agrees to throw on a hood and do a little Palpatine for me. I can feel your anger growing in your pants. Oh my God! Are these nipples hard or what? She will have seen and understood every single nuance of Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, can quote it religiously and goes positively sterile every time I say, "This is my boomstick!" That's right. She want to be a killer of, and a zombie,
all at the same time. She will not only have heard of Blackadder, Monty Python, and Red Dwarf, who will go goofy in the slacks when I treat her to the Half-Rimmer Salute. Her book collection will span from Sylvia Plath and Anne Sexton to Sin City and Transmetropolitan, and her MP3 collection better contain at least 3 Weird Al Yankovic compilations. An intimate evening together would go something like this. After our sumptuous meal of Hong Fat takeout, washed down with a cheeky vintage Jolt Cola, we will then view and discuss the entire pantheon of Kevin Smith. The evening will then take a turn for the morose when she adjourns to the bedroom without me, just because I fell asleep during the technical commentary track to Dogma. Again. Later she will wake my reverie by gently yanking on my ear and screaming, "Yow! Pellet boy! Quit moping around like your inner child just slit its wrist and get down on your knees, because I didn't get dressed up like Battle Angel for nothing!" It would be ungentlemanly of me to elaborate further. Needless to say, darling, if you think this sounds like you, seek professional help. But, my buttercup, I will be awaiting upon your release from the asylum. And after we giggle over the popsicle stick replicas of the Firefly-class Serenity that you made in art therapy, we will then adjourn to the Angelica. There we will be wed during the midnight movie presentation of Twin Peaks. Fire, walk with me. Now I ask you, how can you call that creepy? Thank you very much!